Fade in.
Greetings, everybody. Looks like I didn't pull down the thumbnail there. Hi, how's it going? You guys good? Great. Woo! It's Friday. It's a fabulous Friday. Fantastic Friday. Very excited about it. Leads us into a wonderful weekend, I hope. Hopefully everybody's got some good weekend plans out there. Hopefully get a chance to go and see some good films. There is a good film. Well, it's not good. It is. It's a fun film. There's a fun film out there we're going to talk about right at the beginning of the show here today. Then we're going to get into some of this Warner Brothers discussion. I was hoping to try to do some of this over on Pop Culture Minefield, but I didn't get a chance to put together a clip for them. I was going to do things got a little bit overdone for me today, but I'm glad to be here now. I had a lot of fun over on Midnight's Edge in the morning. That was a good time over there. Paul Chatto's a genius. Script Doctor is a genius. Cameron Pasha was on point. It was a nice hangout. Of course, Tom's always awesome. So lots and lots of fun things to talk about, of course. I mean, we could talk about, the quote unquote backlash garbage that the mainstream's pushing about the Little Mermaid stuff. I mean, of course, they're leaning into, the lies. This is the mainstream nowadays. Lie. Tired of it. Looking at numbers and all that, when it comes down to people who are actually quote unquote ists or phobes, they're very few and far between. People who rely on those types of ad hominem attacks in anything, with it speaking in broad generalities, or when it comes to that kind of stuff, if it happens all the time, and it's related specifically to the way something's being done, you can't utilize those generalities. They're not accurate. It just shows how disingenuous you are. Ad hominem attacks means that you have no argument. You failed in the grand scheme of things. It's fascinating that we continue to have things like that, these kinds of discussions coming around because of films, right? I mean, and they're corrupting this young woman who has a good voice, by the way. Halle Bailey has a good voice. They're corrupting her into saying some really ridiculous stuff, and that's not going to do her any good. Ultimately, people that don't like the fact that you are taking this character and doing what you're doing to it, there's an argument, for that. Those people have valid complaints. Of course, the things that really a lot of people are objecting over out, they set aside the recast, the radical changes to what the source material was, right? This Dutch, you know, tale about mermaids. Um, Set that all aside, and the primary complaint that you'll hear, and I think several people have done videos on this now, is the CGI looks bad, right? And it didn't look any better in the most recent trailer. Um, if you have millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people that are saying we don't like this, what are you going to do? Could be a good film. Don't know. I'm not going to give Disney money for that. I had a hard time giving Disney money to see Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania, and I regret doing it because that film was terrible. Well, it wasn't good. It wasn't the worst film I've ever seen. But I do want to talk about films, and I want to talk to each and every one of you and say hi. We've had, several comments, 100 or so already today. You guys, thanks for being in here. Appreciate it. Those of you who are here early, like the Red Ranger, who says, what did the corrupt congressman order on election day? Stuffed ballots. There you go. Captain Phantom's here. We got Vixen in the house. Master Shadow Dragon is hanging out with us as well. Why Destroyer 3466V. Floral's here. What's up, Floral? Hey, did you guys see the beginning? Did that thing happen? Did you guys see that, Morgan? Did you see the intro? Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah. Bond assault flip-flops. Indeed. Etienne Flarudo. Indeed. What's up, Union of Amateur Strategists? Good to see you. Yeah, I decided to go ahead and capture that moment for myself. What's up, Rob Altus? Great to see you, my friend. There's our good buddy Olaf Von S. We've got Theme Park Casual in the house. Great. Hey, there's Darren Hughes. A reliable wrench as always. Thank you for being here, my friend. And let's see. Here's another reliable wrench. Just another red shirt. Hail, Mr. Shirt. We've got like 4 wrenches. 5, actually, because Captain Phantom Nerd was right at the top there. Look at you guys. You're amazing. Jay Price is hanging out with us today. Hail all, hail chat, hail to you, Jay Price, and greetings to OC Dobbins, my friend. And of course, Small Time Republic, who I got to hang out with over on Whatever Cast on that channel. That was a lot of fun. Good time. Talking about bass guitar. Good times. Yeah, we got Humor and Waffles hanging out. Good to see you, my friend. Who else popped in? Oh, Scott Cook is here. There's Jesse. What's up, man? Good to see you, the common nerd. I'd love to have a beverage, let me tell you, but we're a few days away. Got Mutant Bam Hammer in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Happy cocaine-filled Friday. Yeah, let's talk about that. There's Thunderduck. What is up? How about a new channel, Cocaine Casino? Yeah, I don't think YouTube would appreciate that much, but we'll get into a little cocaine bear here in the near future. And if you want, I might throw a spoiler or two. Actually, if you don't want any spoilers, I'm happy to do that too, because I don't want to spoil the film. Again, it's not a masterpiece. It's just a lot of fun. Sunny Sunflower, how's it going? My Friday's fantastic. Hope yours is as well. Dapper Bard Games is in the house. Finally made it to a show. It's been a week. I'm glad you're here, my friend. Greetings to you. Channel Surf is in the house. Great to see you. Hopefully some of you, those of you who are in SoCal, might get an opportunity to check out Chrissy Mayer's show. I think she's in San Diego today. She added 2 shows, or she had 2 shows. She added a show in San Diego. So for those of you going to that, congratulations. Hope you enjoy it. We've got Big Daddy MRI hanging out with us. What's going on, my friend? Yeah. Thank you for enjoying Midnight's Edge in the morning. It was great. Yeah, the discussions were sparkling, I thought. Quite good. Yeah. One of the reasons that I really enjoy YouTube is the interactivity between the audience and the panelists. Some of the insight that you glean from some of the folks that just, happen to show up in your spheres is truly amazing. Absolutely love that. Incredible. Incredible. Let's see. We've got Karenut 82. What's going on, my friend? Let's see. Look, there is something to it for sure. Every time I hear something behind the scenes in backstage conversations and candid conversations that I have with others that would be in the know, there's always that, well, this is weird that you don't see them prominently. You should. They probably are. There's all signs point to it. Lots of weirdness happened all at the same time surrounding this. There's mention of Bob Iger specifically by Kevin O'Leary and others. There's been articles written around it. There's some Reddit stuff that was out there. A lot of weird stuff. We got Blackie out there. Good to see you. We've got Jerry Mendoza in the house as well. Let's see. And Michelle's here. Hi, Michelle. Hope all is well, dear. Lord Thoth is hanging out with us today. Look at you guys go. Haitienne does not agree that she has a good voice. She's mid at best and looks and look at like that. The puffer fish is terrible in that shot for sure. Yeah. I don't know. Just very strange. Casey Charlie Chats is here. What's going on? I'm glad that you're here, my friend. Rogue Thinker, I don't think there is saving this movie. It has issues before it even opens. Yeah. Again, there are going to be people who are not going to be inspired for or to anything in particular, unfortunately. When it comes to this film, I don't think people will be inspired by it. Maybe there will be some, and if so, that's great. I don't know about there's a lot of inspiration to go see the film. To be fair, I mean, remakes are boring now, and in fact, they're often so far below the original, despite technological advancements, that it's often not even worth pursuing. And this is coming from somebody who really wanted to have, multiple Tron films and all of that. Tron Legacy was passable, was weird moments of strange de-aging on Mr. Bridges. Very odd. And now that we get the rumor that we're getting a third Tron thing, which again, that's been out there for a while, but I'm not sure Jared Leto pops into my mind when I think about Tron. Jay Price is like, I'm not going to give Disney money for anything. They do not want me as a customer. I don't think they want people as a customer anymore. Or at least they're actively trying to push customers away. Jonathan Majors is Kang. Really? He's not. That wasn't very good. And people are like, well, he saves the movie. This is the Kang movie. I'm like, this is supposed to be Ant-Man 3. There's very little of Ant-Man and Wasp like working together. There's so much lost storytelling, so many convoluted story elements. It's very bad. Let's see. Douchey McDouche is here. Low Specs here. Look at you guys. I saw a screenshot from a Screen Rant article and honestly wondered if someone had photoshopped her to look stupid. Oh, we talking about Halle Bailey. I don't know. Very weird. so glad boss allowed you to have a call. Yeah. You guys are funny. That's pretty funny though. That was a good moment. Let's see what else. There's our Bloody Brightest Day. What's up? Mighty Morphin Power Wrenchers. That's right. That's what I've got on my channel. I'd go to Cocaine Casino. Well, all right. Oh, you guys are amazing. We got a Greasy Pan Ham in the house. No cocaine during Lent. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you're giving something up. That's funny as heck. Does Cocaine Bear kill teenagers having interactivity like Friday the 13th? No. It's funny because there's like this just tiny little allusion towards an potential romantic interest, but not between people who you would think. Oh, it's so lovely. I think you guys are going to be surprised when you see the film. It really is. Ryan saw Cocaine Bear and was weirded out. Well, all right. Ant-Man 3 is tanking. This is a correct statement. Already a day below 1K per theater. Yeah. Brutal indeed, Thunderduck. You know, Thunderduck, it's weird. This was incredibly predictable. Again, Ant-Man, you used your last character, Ant-Man, that you could possibly use to bring you into phase 5 to introduce Kang in this way, to bring in the big bad. This film probably won't crack 800 million. I did some math last night, some little, on the back of the napkin kind of writing, and I came up with $717 million, which means that the film will make about 20 million bucks, maybe max, if that's the number that it actually comes out to be globally. But you're already having a more than 60% fall off for the film. So yeah. Interactive TV, Jack, the wave of the future. That's right. Yeah, definitely have a beer. Hammerite hurts. That's the first thing to wake up to. Have beer. I love that mindset. I love Canada. You guys are amazing. Little Chad's in the house. What is up, my friend? Good to see you. The score was amazing in Tron Legacy. It just didn't quite hit. Didn't quite hit the numbers for me. Of course, again, I was a kid ish when the first film came out. I saw it in the theater. We already knew the direction things were going to go because of the computer graphics that were in that, and that was going to be the wave of the future. So, but I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, I just felt like it missed. It's okay. Yeah. And you know what? It probably was because of the story, Jay Price. That's probably right. Because it was pretty. A lot of that stuff was good. Oh, Michelle was on Twitch. You guys are watching Lincoln Park's Lost. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, here we go. The Jonathan Moore Majors is Kang. That's right. Line was from a joke that hilariously fake RT review. Oh, wow. That review is funnier every time I read it. I probably should have written a review. I actually signed up for a Rotten Tomatoes account. So you may start to see like my reviews in Rotten Tomatoes when I see stuff. There you go. CC, answer a question about Cocaine Bear on a scale of 1 to 10. How good was the Bears rampage? Ooh, it was pretty good. Um, some of the stuff was, laughable CGI for sure, but maybe a 7 out of 10 on the, 'cause it was pretty good. I mean, there were times I was like, "Whoa!" Yeah. Oh boy, and let me tell you, you will like question yourself that you're laughing inappropriately at certain things, but I think it was meant to be funny. It was really good. Um, it's kind of a horror movie. It's got some toned down gore. How it ended up as with an R rating, I don't know. There were the occasional bad words in there, but it was pretty good. Yeah, real Wade. You have big video ideas. Awesome, man. Get them done. Let me know. There we go. Little chat says Cocaine Bear was exactly what expected wanted from the movie, and I was able to use Movie Pass 2.0 to get my ticket. Awesome. Yes. And that's how I come down on it. It is goofy fun. And if you like, comedy, horror, dark comedy, or whatever you want to call it, this is a fun film. It's not world it's not world changing. It's not groundbreaking, but it's a good film. And to be honest with you, the CGI that's in it, because there's a lot of practical in it, but the CGI that's in it, still better than what I saw in Ant-Man. And that's saying a lot. The budget for it was $35 million, and it had better CGI than Ant-Man. Good. What's up, Diesel? Good to see you, buddy. I say 655 without the CCP money. Yeah, that's probably close. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. Ha, there's my buddy. What's going on, Drunk 3PO? Hey, if you haven't had a chance, check out Drunk 3PO's release of Achromatic Chronicles. It is up on, well, you can find it on his channel, find the promotion campaign there and on Indiegogo. Um, Congratulations on all of your efforts, Drunk. You deserve it, my friend. And thanks for the update in Mexico. I saw that video today, too. So, yeah, check out Joe A. Check out Drunk 3PO and all he does. What's up, Curtis? Good to see you, buddy. Hey, what's going on? The best overall internet content found here. Well, thank you, my friend. Stopped mostly all of my corp subs. No Disney, no Paramount, and just the people I trust to provide intelligent, edgy content. Well, there's a lot of them here. And thanks for being here, Ribbon. Love you, man. R.I.P. Chester, indeed. Indeed. Yeah, Mr. 350% plus. That's right, Olaf. Yeah, we lost. Breaking up Daft Punk was not a good thing for anybody, indeed. So, hey, Olaf sends a super chat. Hey, Culture for €2 says, Culture, plug Achromatic Chronicles, blue for Jay. I just did. I didn't even have to see that. Thanks for that, Olaf. I would have done it anyway. Yeah, there you go. Blue balls in the chat for Jay. That doesn't sound nice. Doesn't sound nice. When Jay said it the other day, I was like, oh, that sounds weird. But now I understand it. Maybe that wasn't a good thing to root for. Blue balls in the chat for Jay. Anyway. Dabberbar Game says the wife and I might go see Cocaine Bear for a little escapism. You will escape. There is a moment in this that I thought was totally ridiculous. Yeah, Michelle, let people know what your Twitch is. Indeed. CC, I saw your karaoke performance and was awesome. My compliments. Well, thank you, Grimstorm. I appreciate that. I do occasionally sing. You can find me doing that over sometimes on CC Karaoke stream. I used to do it over on Polly's stream. Probably do it on Jedi Bill's stream at some point. There's a lot of people here that are very talented singers, so I always feel a little self-conscious around gifted humans. But thank you for that compliment. I do appreciate it. Yeah, here we go. Thank you, Thunderduck. Strange 2, 955, Thor, 755, Wakanda 855. So 655 is my guess. It's a pattern, I think. That would be pretty cool. Be pretty cool. But let's take a look at this picture from Cocaine Bear. And if you want me to explain the scene here, it is very amusing. This is from our friends over there at Variety. Box office Cocaine Bear earns $2 million in previews. This film has a chance to do even better than this. I think. I think it's going to do quite well. And I hope I promoted G's book properly. I hope it. I hope for those of you who didn't do it. Yeah, here we go. Check out the book at Indiegogo's, guys. 220-page graphic novel, 3 years of blood, sweat, and tears. I bet. And there's the link itself. Thank you, Mr. Shirt. Appreciate it. Fantastic. Do I know the real story of the cocaine bear? Yeah, it didn't live very long after it ate the cocaine. It lived for about 15 minutes, they estimate. Yeah, I mean, the actual premise of this film is actually revealed in the first couple of moments of the movie, like the first two to 5 minutes of this film when it opens up is kind of giving you the background for the story. In fact, there's even it opens with a little text narration at the front, and then the actual plane where they're pitching the coke out of it. But I'm not going to give away anything more. This bear is fine. The bear right now in the photo you're seeing, it's not dead. It's taking a nap. And the circumstance for this nap is really you guys are going to love this film. It is so good. Yeah, the bear did not kill anybody. This is a true statement. So, but yeah, the bear was just high. It was an unfortunate circumstance. What's up, Eclat? But it was so good. It was so good. And it's funny. It is not a it's not a blockbuster film. it might make decent money. It could compete with Ant-Man this weekend if we get around our projection of about 34 million for it's not yeah, for Ant-Man. This thing could get there. They grew the number of screens that it was going to be on. They expanded the number of screens it's going to be on starting today. That's on about 800 more screens today. It opened on a $2 million to not a lot of screens. I think under 1,000 screens, and it'll be at 3,500. Excuse me. Well, wait, it opened at 3,000 North American screens Thursday night. Didn't I, that number's different than the one that I saw reported earlier, but okay. So 35, 34 on Friday. So that's today. All right. All I know is it's going to be fantastic. They moved the numbers up from what they originally projected, which was somewhere around 12 to 15 million. It's now 15 to 17 million for the weekend. Some predictions have it opening at 20 million. Could you imagine if it went over 20 million? Could you imagine if it got 35 million and beat Ant-Man? I would love for that to happen. I'm looking forward to everybody's reviews on this film. A lot of other people have truly enjoyed it. So there's that. Yeah, a great cameo from Mr. Russell in the opening scene, indeed. Man, there's so much greatness in this. Yeah, Cocaine Bear is based on a true story-ish, is how I'll say it. Yes, somebody was dumping their plane full of cocaine into this Chattahoochee national forest area. All of that's true. This kind of stuff happened in the 80s if you were ditching your load or whatever. Yeah, so that part of the story is true. None of the bear attacking people part of the story is true. That's all fictionalized and beautifully done. Oh wow, Society Review says that apparently Vince McMahon now thinks WWE is worth $9 billion, maybe in Saudi money. I think I said something like that way back when, if you remember back then, Jacob, that he was going to try to get as much as he could out of it. My original estimation was somewhere between 7 and 9 billion. So yeah, we'll see. Again, I mean, you'd have to go to a business. You'd have to go to somebody who actually specializes in selling companies like this. But yeah, probably 9 billion would be the top end. But you're right, it's going to be Saudi money. It's not going to be anybody else. I can't see anybody coming in with that more than that. Cocaine koalas. I know, like you guys were great on with the last time we were talking about this, just how many different animals we could like get out there, like cocaine kangaroo and stuff. Yeah, gonna be super. Oh wow, RC Anderson wants to know how he can get a signed Cara Dune figure signed by Gina. Ooh, you're gonna have to negotiate for that, I'm afraid, RC Anderson. The real cocaine bear pretty much died right away. Yeah, about 15 minutes they estimated. Yeah. Yeah, 2 to 25 times revenue's a fair price most of the time. There you go. 2.5, 2 to 2.5 times. Yeah. Yeah. I figured out what you were saying. Yeah. Yeah. I would watch Cocaine Squirrels. So would I. How about a whole bunch of squirrels that were on cocaine? It'd be kind of fun. Anyway, I just wanted to I just wanted to give you my thoughts on the film. I thought the fun was in this film. It really was. Don't go in there looking for something that's going to challenge your brain because it ain't happening. It ain't happening. Hemorrhoid Hurts for $2.99. It's a super but hard review. Picard 3 on Bird. Oh, Bird of Prey did it. Bird of Prey did a review about it. I'll have to check it out. I want to see sloths on speed, says Ironcaster. That would be weird. But look, there's only one bear that I will heap praise on no matter what. And of course, that is the Canadian bear right here, our drunk 3PO. I hope you're doing good, buddy. I miss you, Jay. Hopefully we get to hang out here in the next few weeks. Let's see. One more time, thank you, Hemorrhoid Hurts, for the $2.99 Australian. Appreciate it. Let's move on because obviously we're all going to want to talk about what's happening with Warner's had a very um and I'm going to say it this way, a very good uh earnings call, a quarterly call. Not because it made a lot more money. They actually had their revenue fall overall about 10 or 11%. But investors and analysts are very optimistic about the company, and so am I. And I'm going to push back against the idea that they're setting the company up to sell off Warner Brothers. Because I mean, I can see why people would think that, and it may very well be a setup to do that, but it doesn't make any sense. You want to show progress with this company on its road back to profitability, and I think everything that Zaslav has been telling people has actually been true. I think that a lot of analysts are believing it, even though they did drop some revenue. They did $11 billion for the quarter. Um, you had a dip in EBITDA to 2.6 billion. There was a little bit of a loss in after hours, but overall, those numbers are going to bounce back. We've had some turmoil there, but it's not unusual. And again, analysts are looking at it in a positive light, especially this morning. Some of the articles that I've read, most of the cost cutting has been overly effective, which seems weird. They actually were able to realize, and again, I covered this on the 6 Minute Daily, 4 billion in post-merger cost savings. And they still have areas to do some write-downs in that I imagine that they will do. They won't be able to take advantage of that one-time thing that they did right at the beginning, but I mean, they yielded more than the 3.5 billion in cost savings. That's impressive. Um, we'll have to see how that goes down overall. But they have valuable properties, and we talked about this a bit this morning on Midnight's Edge in the morning. This is going to be a conversation, the fact that they're going to go after more Lord of the Rings films. And they've already reached out to Jackson, right? They've already, leaned into that conversation. That was smart. It's something that the, Rings of Power should have done. I can imagine that they'll do whatever they want to. They own all the material from the Silmarillion on up. And they've already got a lot of things that they could develop. And you're going to see the animated film, The War of Rohirrim, however you want to pronounce it, coming out here in the near future. It's an animated thing, but I mean, again, they have opportunities to dive into this. They could even dive into the video games as aspect of this, like they just recently did with the Harry Potter material, which has yielded them a lot of money and a lot of praise they've yielded from that game as well. So, yeah. So why is Warner Brothers reworking the Lord of the Rings? There's money there. There's money there, and there's stories that can be told within this world that necessarily weren't, a part of the original films that Jackson did. There are stories within stories there, and you're not going to get, many, if any, of those actors back to reprise their roles, nor would you probably want them. But you could certainly tell stories within this world, within this sphere about things that we know happened that are referenced historically. Um, you may get you may get things that maybe integrate with the previous films. Maybe you drag a scene or two in from those older films. You know, it wouldn't be hard to keep the aesthetic. And again, if Peter Jackson's tied to them, I wouldn't imagine why they wouldn't be, very, very successful. So, um, there's nothing but upside here for Warner Brothers. Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, those two monsters that they have control of. And Embracer Group wants them to do something with it. They want licensing money. Big Daddy MRI says 187 years ago today, Mexican General Santa Anna began his siege of the Alamo. The brave Texans who defended the Alamo will always be remembered. Indeed, my friend. Remember the Alamo. Jesse says Warner Brothers is going to destroy Rings of Power with these movies. Yes. No one will even bother with it after that. Indeed. And the fact is, they could actually get a film out possibly before you would get into a third season of Rings of Power, which they desperately need to be reworking if they want anybody to watch the second season of Rings of Power. Yeah, Jay Price says, at this time, I trust Peter Jackson even after The Hobbit. Speaking of which, Jay Price, the actor that is in your avatar right here from Game of Thrones, one of the wildlings, he's actually in Cocaine Bear. He is. Pretty interesting role, too. Yeah, Amazon did reach out to Peter Jackson and then ghosted him. This is a true story. Whoa, Dish Network got wiped out. Did not know that. Hacked, huh? Not surprising. They've had lots of tech issues. For a long time, to be honest with you. That's weird. Apparently, they did really well on the stock market, and that day they got destroyed. So since Thursday morning, Dish Network has been experiencing a major outage that's taken down the company's main websites, apps, and customer support systems. Holy cow. You know what? We should all look at this. Let me hide this. Hide that. Yeah. Confirm. All right. This is from, I think, The Verge. Let's pull up this. I didn't see this news. That's strange. We'll get back to the Lord of the Rings thing in a minute and Warner Brothers thing in a minute, but this is weird. So Dish's internal systems are so broken, some employees haven't worked in over a day. Since taking over, let's see, The Verge is not clear as to what's going on inside the company. The company's Dish.com website is completely blank, save for a notice apologizing for any disruptions you may be having while promising that the teams are hardworking to restore systems as possible. Holy cow. There are no humans on the other end of the phone system. Holy cow. In an ironic twist, the outage started around the time Dish is set to release its earnings for Q4. CEO Eric Carlson addressed it during the company's earnings call, saying the company was experiencing an internal outage that's continuing to affect our internal servers and IT telephony. Wow. Apparently, the wireless networks are operating normally, as is Sling. That's crazy. Internally, frontline employees have been kept in the dark about what's going on. Two sources telling The Verge that they are being told to stand by for information from their leadership teams. Woo! That's no bueno, kids. That's called getting hacked. That's crazy. All right. Well, there you are. Shrap 3D says, still worried about the War of Rohirrim. All the press releases indicate the story's centered on Helm's daughter and not Helm Hammerhand, as the original story was. That's interesting. We'll have to see what actually comes of that. We need Culture and Valiant together talking finances on Disney and Warner Bros. I hang out with Valiant whenever I can. Oftentimes, our schedules don't jive, for lack of a way to put it. Yeah. Let's see. That's nuts. If they release a series of movies to show off Morgoth, that would be awesome. Yeah. I think, look, there's a lot of room there, especially in video games. This is the thing I always blew my mind. Lord of the Rings is wide open. for video games and exploration. The world is open. As long as you live within the framework of the lore, I think the potential is boundless. Truly is, especially if you have some quality scholars on board. Don't they have access to the Silmarillion Unfinished Tales? Those can make some interesting movies. Silmarillion's fantastic. If you can get through the beginning. Just a great way to expand your knowledge of everything that's in that universe. I think there's a lot there. Could they tell a prologue part of the Lord of the Rings film? Beat Amazon to the punch? They could. They actually could. Yeah. What's up, Catsith? Hey, Darth Plato's here. What's up? Ironcaster says new Lord of the Rings would somewhat help Amazon with their show. I don't know about that. I don't think so. Especially since there's going to be no character crossover, right? I mean, in the aesthetic would be completely different, especially if they leaned into what Peter Jackson was doing. That was beautiful, the ethereal nature of the elves. Yeah, I'm interested in what Warner Brothers will do. Yeah, I think you're right, Red Ranger. I think you're right. Amazing Spider-Man 3 being made, says Thunderduck. Do I want to see that? I really like. I mean, I like Tobey Spider-Man. I actually have now become a fan of the Garfield Spider-Man because of this most recent No Way Home film. So, for what it's worth. I guess you could say they are now disheveled. Indeed. Well done, Mutant Bamhammer. They're doing a system update. I think they're doing a system recovery, probably. Jealous? No. I'm sure everything is fine with Valiant. He's a good guy. Yeah, when you have all the books, it's a great reference point, right? I really have to say, if Jackson was the only one that was probably capable of doing those films in a way that everybody would appreciate, staying within the books, but not being able to do it the book like shot for shot. There's no way you wouldn't have. You'd have so much. You'd have like miles of movie. Nobody would want to be in the theater that long. That show is dreadful indeed. Yeah, it might work on the marketing side for casual people, Ironcaster. That's an interesting insight. It's probably true to a certain extent, but once they saw the difference in them, I think people would reject what's going on there. To be fair. Yeah, they could do a Baron and Luthien tale. This is true. I think you and Bam Hammer came to the same, or excuse me, Ram Bam 3000 came to the same conclusion simultaneously. They could definitely do that. Release the Rohirrim to fight the Battle of Rohirrim. There you go. Oh, someday somebody's going to tell me how to pronounce all these words. To be fair. Hey, we've got Logic's Finest here. Good to see you, my friend. I'm not a Tolkien fan by any stretch, but a film or even a limited TV series about the war that Sauron lost might be huge. That would be great. Seeing Sauron in his armor at full glory. Yeah. There are moments that I would love to see, right? That I know I'm not going to get in the Amazon series. There's so many moments out there, folks, that we could be pulled into in that world. I think Warner Brothers has a lot of room, folks. Truly. I think all three Spider-Man should get their own films. Yeah. Although Amazing Spider-Man movies were poorly conceived and written. I still think a third one would be great. Oh, Gojira Star comes in, weighs in here. The Fall of Gondolin would be cool. Yeah. Man, I got to go back and reread my books. Warner Brothers just needs to make it Rings of Power and actually make it good, just to stick it to Amazon. Well, could you imagine them actually just going out and just 100% trolling them and just creating their own Forging of the Rings story? Oh my. Oh my. I want to see the Song of Creation and the Valar. We've never seen them. I like you said, you could almost do anything in this world. I think would be great. Dwarves. That's right. Has the destruction of Numenor. You guys. Cece, watch the trailers and the deleted scenes from the amazing films. A lot was cut. Lots of great stuff. I believe you. I believe you. I'm a huge fan of Spider-Man, truly. And again, I became a fan of Garfield, which is weird. And I didn't really like to the kid that's doing it now. Just brain just fell out. My brain just fell out. Name fell out of my head. What is this kid's name? Holland. Tom Holland. I thought he was But it's just me. All right, let's move on to a little more discussion about what's happening. So a lot of people think that this deal could actually happen where they would spin out Warner Brothers. I'm not going to rule that 100%, but it would be kind of ridiculous, right? I mean, the timing works out if you want to argue that way that a year from now technically they could part with that part of the company if they wanted to, but it would have been pointless and fruitless, and it doesn't make sense because unlike Lucasfilm and the arguments that are made around that, Warner Brothers has an enormous catalog. It's incredibly valuable. They're just now finally leveraging it rather than trying to have a walled garden around it. And they're leaning into the idea of having multiple streaming services and sources of revenue. And they're rather successful with that. So, as Zaslav says here in a quote, if you just read to the end of this headline, why would we shut that off? Right. Because they have multiple streams of revenue. Why would you stop operating both streaming services? At what point will it make sense? Haven't you already essentially eliminated a lot of redundancies? Is there cost savings they haven't realized? Well, we just talked about the fact that they realized well beyond their cost savings, which was $3.5 billion as a target, and they actually realized $4 billion instead. I think they're swinging in the right direction. And I think that goes on for a period of time. But I can't say that the argument around this isn't that they could possibly get rid of it. It just doesn't make financial sense. And that's the only thing that I ever pay attention to is whether or not it makes financial sense. And right now it's more financially advantageous to keep both services up and running. So there's that. Snowdub's here. What's up, buddy? And you're right. Zaslav could just merge all the streaming services together with separate tabs in it for the specific content, like Warner Brothers TV or something. Yeah, you're right. And that's fine, and I'm sure they'll eventually get there. But there's no need to do that. If you maintain both services, you're kind of double dipping into some people's pockets, and that there's some viability to that. Pinochet's helicopter tours for $5. Thank you for that, Pinochet. So sorry I'm late. Going off my question last night, is Disney making decisions knowing they have subsidies coming in, effectively taxpayers bailout? Well, Disney's losing some influence within governmental structures, not just at the state level, which is most obvious, right? With the Reedy Creek elimination in favor of this new thing that's actually put in place by the governor. So we'll set that aside for now. Could they possibly get a bailout? Well, all the studios are going to be applying for one in less than a year. Our economy is not jumping, let's say. You're sitting kind of in a recession. Is Disney making decisions? They know they have subsidies coming in. A lot of these companies are already collect various types of subsidies. I mentioned a few that probably just that popped into my mind last night when I was hanging out with the comics division. But Could they be counting on bailouts? Sure. Will they necessarily benefit from them? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. But it's possible. I wouldn't say no. I just don't think so. Um, like I said, they're losing favor at the federal level. Um, and I imagine there'll be even more scrutiny on lobbying going forward. The House controls spending. Disney's not made a lot of friends in the House of Representatives with the party that's controlling it right now. Um, I'll look more deeply into it. It's possible, but there's nothing built into things right now that I would say is anything they could count on. They actually may lose Mickey Mouse to the public domain. They may not be able to extend that any longer. In fact, I don't think they'll be able to. So we'll see. But thank you for the super chat, my friend. I do appreciate it. Who is maintaining the CW? Well, the CW got purchased out by another media conglomerate. And they have done their best to slowly remove some of the CW content that a lot of people were that a few people might have been invested in, like the Arrowverse and all the DC stuff is getting pulled out of there. And there's other shows that are getting stripped away. They are actually probably pivoting into a more reality-based thing, game show-based thing. That network will look different in about 2 years or less. Yeah. So keep an eye on that. Holland is a better Spider-Man. Garfield is a better Peter Parker. I think my opinion about Garfield changed so much. I still think Tobey's the best Spider-Man, but I understand where you're coming from, Logic's Finest. I do. Jay Price says they won't merge the streaming service. Discovery customers won't pay extra for the same content, plus HBO Max they didn't want to begin with. There you go. Doesn't make sense yet. Siege Perilous said something I missed, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying, Trinoculus P. The House won't be as generous this time around. Yeah, they control spending. That's the thing. I mean, that's one of the reasons why when we have run into what we have right now, that they're saying is going to be a problematic in June, the debt ceiling. They control the purse strings, really, the primary budget. So we'll have to see what happens there. I just can't see that kind of a bailout. I wouldn't bail them out. I would give 1,000 different reasons not to. Yeah, M Tax Shark. Yeah, I would love to have this conversation with somebody and tax accountant primarily, somebody who specializes in these big corps. We're having really strange circumstances around the federal benefits and stuff like that. And a lot of people's previous statements are coming home to haunt them. Why would we write them a check? You're about to have a writer's strike, a director's strike, and the Screen Actors Guild strike, or potentially all three could strike this year. It's gonna be a weird year, folks. There's no way there's no way to predict what the tea leaves will read, even 2 weeks from now at this point. Outside of like just what's the way trends are leaning. That's kind of how I'm looking at things, including stocks at the moment. That's why I'm looking at Warner Brothers with some positive points of reference. If you look at, let's say, what people think of Warner Brothers Discovery, analysts are saying they're turning the corner. I mean, you have lots of people worth their salt saying this. I've been looking at this for a while. They going into this quarterly, there was a lot of optimism here, and there's lots of things to focus on. They have strong free cash flow as their focus. They have debt reduction. They're minimizing their streaming losses. They were on top of this for quite some time, well before Disney got started on it. And yeah, you're starting to see lots and lots of positive trends. So really do feel like Warner Brothers Discovery is going to be the one to beat, outside of obviously the granddaddy of them all, Netflix. I don't know how serious Netflix is about doing anything, or excuse me, not Netflix. Amazon is about doing anything going forward with Amazon Prime. Netflix already knows what they need to do. They need to retain their customers that they have, even in the international markets, which is why in over 100 international markets, they actually reduced the price across the board for the service for Netflix. They know what they need to keep. Amazon is a couple of different services that are primary. The video service is like down the list. And now that Amazon's getting involved in your healthcare, you should be more worried about that than any of this other stuff when it comes to Amazon. So I think Amazon's focus is going to be interesting. How long can Disney Plus keep losing billions of dollars before throwing in the towel? Well, for as long as the other aspects of their business continue to contribute in a positive manner, they are going to have to turn a profit. If they can't get Disney Plus to turn a profit by the end of 2024, they're going to have a bill to pay with investors because they promised that. I think that's always been a pipe dream. Getting to profitability is going to be a hard nut to crack. How they were able to promise a dividend by the end of the year was even curious. But they don't even look at it as a loss. I mean, it's a loss on paper, but they don't look at it as a loss. What they should not have done is what they did do, which started under Iger and then continued under Chapek, which was to become such a walled garden that you left no opportunity for your materials to be distributed outside on a temporary basis. You didn't license out your stuff. Valiant often talks about the pay one window and all of that, where, you would go through a normal process of like theater, digital, distributed on a pay channel, physical media, all that. You just kind of rolled downhill with all those different streams of revenue. But when it came to like your content, Disney allowed Netflix to have first dibs for a while. They made a contract with the Disney on certain properties that they would have first dibs at showing that. Then they pulled all that. They pulled all of their content from everywhere else other than themselves. So now you only have this walled garden of Disney Plus, and you don't have enough people to support, not licensing it out there. They'll have to turn it around, and they're looking to do so already. And that was part of the conversation that was had during their quarterly call. So, yeah. Sorry, I backtracked a little bit on that one. And Pinochet's helicopter tours for $5 says, or can Disney write off all losses knowing that regardless of how bad their films are, do they write it off effectively sticking it to the taxpayers? I don't think it'll get to that point. Like I said, it's going to be a hard sell to bail out Hollywood again. And again, you have the House of Representatives there going, maybe not this time. It's going to be more of a political thing than it'll be a financial thing. The tolerance of the general public right now for that type of thing is pretty low, and it seems to fall on both sides of the aisle in that way. A lot of it will probably come down to lobbying efforts. They can write their losses without any public support. I'm not sure how to go about expanding on answering that question, though. We'll have to see. Um, I have to reevaluate the landscape when we get closer to this. I don't anticipate anybody's going to be jumping on this train, though. I think people are pretty irritated with Hollywood, and again, that's on both sides, not just one. Yeah, trademarks are in perpetuity; they don't expire. Certain patents have different expiration. This is all true, but what I'm saying is the trademark thing isn't going to get them out of the out of the usage of Mickey Mouse as a character for something else. Yeah, trademark stuff all day. Hey, pain in the patoot. I love that and cool icon. What's the feeling about the upcoming movie 65? I'm interested in seeing it. Looks good to me. Haven't been turned off by anything that's been done along the way, which is a far cry better than most media campaigns lately. I think that speaks volumes to what I think the early reception for that will be. Um, Looks cool. I like Adam Driver. And Katsith, you know what? You're 100% right. Because of the number of streaming services, we're back to cable television bundles, right? We are just in a different place, in a different position, different coat of paint. That's why, oh, well, the linear TV model is going away. Is it really, though? Or is it just changing names? Streaming services, kind of the new linear networks. They have the same programming, they come from the same places. The linear networks are the same. There you go. Hey, Zombie Box Reviews. Check out Zombie Box Reviews. How's it going, my friend? Good to see you. Yeah, I know. Disney and Iger still trying to bury the bodies on their FTX exposure. It's interesting, you know, the conversation over there on Midnight's Edge in the morning and in other places as well. And there are a few entities talking about it, and regardless of what you think of any of them, there's something there. And it's bigger than what we're probably ever going to find out. Uh, Iger was definitely pretty deeply involved with FTX, so much so that it really was top of mind for Kevin O'Leary with his slip up on CNBC, and they're immediately running away from that conversation. They probably didn't want to get any of that going for a lot of reasons, probably because it would also expose the CEO, Jeff Schnell, whatever his name is, over at Comcast as well. I mean, a lot of these media entities were deep in these crypto companies, specifically FTX, whether directly through their corporate entities or through their officers, which I think is probably why, again, the CNBC people were like, hey, let's shut him up like right now, ask a question, not go down this road. And the fact that Disney wants to quash any internal conversation about it is even more telling. Disney's really famous for doing that. Their lawyer mice are not nice. So, is there a streaming service that's profitable, SJ Price? And Netflix technically is profitable. Yeah. Scrolling down, guys. Not for any other reason that I've been way behind on the chat. Yeah, Siege Press says, well, it wouldn't be that hard. Shows need to drop budgets 50%. Boom. Yes. And films even more probably. Quality couldn't suffer any more than it has. Look, Cocaine Bear cost $35 million. And the CGI looked better on that. And it's kind of fun. It's not a world beater. It's not the best movie you've ever seen. But it adds to the argument that mid-level films are going to save Hollywood because they fall within a budget that's manageable, that they don't require the moon to market. And I'm sorry, how many millions of dollars do you think went into marketing for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania? In particular, we know it was at least $21 million for the Super Bowl content setup alone. They spent $7 million on a terrible indie promotion on the Super Bowl. Just dumb. Yeah, all the new streamers have the same problem Netflix had. Not enough content. Netflix took off with original programming licensing from network TV networks. Yep. Why Netflix is still number one, indeed. And Warner Brothers is going to play ball with them again, I promise. See a lot of Warner stuff going that way, Sony stuff going that way. Of course, Sony does business with everybody. Smart. They're like, why would we make a streaming service when we can make money off of you? Pretty wise. There's my buddy Memes. Hey, what's going on? Memes for $5 says, hey, friends. So what you're saying is legalize dueling. Love. Indeed. In Minecraft, right, Memes? In Minecraft. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well, man. Memes is doing some interesting stuff with his channel. If you're a physics or science person, check out Memes' stuff. He's a pretty bright guy. Plus, he works out. Ladies, legalize memes, indeed. I finally replaced the last of the cases on my old Mill Creek DVD sets today. I hated having discs and paper sleeves held in place by a center hub. There you go. That is weird, really weird, right? Way back in the day, how they used to distribute media. What really bothered me was those teeth would break on those disc holders, and then you'd end up with the discs scratching each other. I used to get mad. Yeah, the streaming model as a huge tentpole really only works for Netflix, indeed. Hulu and Amazon. Hulu relies on linear content too much. And again, those content agreements will expire. Not to mention the fact that they got to write in Logic's times. I mean, and I think M Talk Shark probably knows you have to write them a $9 billion check here in the very near future in order to acquire the balance of Hulu. Disney's got to write a giant check. We'll set them aside. Amazon, I mean, they could go out there and just distribute digital rights as their digital rental business or permanent rental or whatever they want to call it, because you don't really own anything. Amazon owns it. Just like with Apple. Remember with Apple Music, where you bought those songs and then they're like, you didn't buy those songs. You just could have accessed them. Like, you didn't I didn't own those songs. I bought them. Yeah, it's not an album or a tape, kid. Thanks. Yeah, didn't do that anymore. But you're right. The rest don't have enough content, not as a separate entity from the parent provider for a fee. There you go. 100%. 100%. Culture has too many streams. Culture is cable. Well, thank you for that. Awesome one. I am on a lot of stuff. Let's see. Man, I wish this was true. I appreciate all of you that are here, the 80 of you that are in the audience right at this very moment. Thank you for that. For those watching on the replay, thank you for that as well. Hey, what's up, Radioactive? Good to see. Good to see you. Yep, over-the-top services like Tubi and Freevee are the new old-school TV model. Content with ads. And in fact, that's exactly what it is. We are getting cable all over again. None of this is new under the sun. It's just repackaged and delivered slightly differently. It's not even completely differently. A lot of people, they still have their cable company because they deliver their internet. Bonkers. Iron Cash was like, I'm stuck. I'm going to stick by my $30 million expectation for the weekend for Cocaine Bear. Oh, it's just a fun movie, truly. They lost a ton of money to Arcipio, probably more than even was like publicly mentioned. Uh, Tens of millions would be my guess, Arcipio. I'll be my guess. Um, let's see. Hey, your Muslim uncle is here. What's going on, my friend? Pinochet's helicopter tours for $5 says, why I asked about subsidies. Don't know if you saw chief propagandist in White House, KJP, effectively lobbying on Disney's behalf last week. I did not. I will go back and look for that, my friend. I really will. Thank you for the $5 super chat for a bit of information I must have missed. But KGP is not exactly the most fully formed book out there to read. I'm gonna get in trouble for that. It's true though. I think they spent more than $100 million for Ant-Man 3. On top of their $200+ million production budget. Like you said, it's going to need to make $700 million or more to be profitable. And I did some back of the napkin math, like I said earlier in the stream. The film needs to make $700 million. I anticipate it'll make like $717 million. Up to maybe 720. It's not going to make them much, if any, money ultimately. And we don't know what any ancillary costs were along the way. We don't know if there's like pass-through circumstances that they have to deal with. We know that they're only going to get 20% out of the China revenue. We know that international revenue has been falling. We know that interest in films internationally has been falling. We know that there are fewer butts in every seat despite revenues climbing. It's because ticket prices have gone up. You're seeing a 40% increase in the premium large format price seats for over the course of the last 5-6 years. So yeah. What's going on, Philly Otto? Good to see you. Netflix at least has someone else's catalog on their platform, but now the crown's been broken among them. Yeah. Yeah, and it's going to continue to go that direction. Stunt Brat's here. What's up, Stunt Brat? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well there. Yes, Curtis D, you are correct. Elizabeth Banks was in charge of Cocaine Bear. As long as it's better than her Charlie's Angels, that's a win. This is better than her Charlie's Angels. And to me, it doesn't matter. I mean, I watched the film. There were some uneven stuff. I wouldn't say the direction was bad. I think the direction was interesting. I think there was some dialogue choices that were made, some clunky dialogue that is there that doesn't belong in the 80s. It's definitely got a little bit of a modern twinge to it, which I'm not super thrilled about. Overall, those moments were few and far between. It is a fun, awful film. It's not awful. It's not a masterpiece. It's a good film. Scrolling. Yeah, in America, cinemas take 50% of the gross. Overseas, 60. That's not 100% right. Higher still only in China. Yeah. Yeah, but no, you're right in that ballpark. A $200 million film with a $50 promotion budget will make 500 million domestically just to break even. It's going to need more than that. But you're right. You're real close. Yeah. Really, really close. Yeah, the best part of that was Welcome Back to Carter. Indeed, your Muslim uncle. I love that song. What a great television song, right? Welcome back to the same old place that you laughed about. What's going on, Radioactive? Let's see. Thank you. That's true. Nobody loses money except the mainstream media. That's right. Culture Bear. I might, you know what? That wouldn't be a bad Halloween costume. I might consider going as the Cocaine Bear. Be fun. Be warm. Depends on how warm October is. Hey, Death Angel Shadows in the house. Reshoots. That's right. We've had a lot of reshoots in Disney films. Whoa, Miss Marvel looks like it's going to be a car crash. Shoot, I dropped something last night I can't talk about. Disney did a series of test screenings for test audiences on a broad scale of something last night. I know this for a fact. I will talk about it in the future. I can't talk about it now, but it did happen last night extensively. Multiple theaters. And this is the most important point I think anybody can take home today, since we're quite a ways into the stream. Thanks for being here, everybody. The Marvel diehard audience is indeed getting thinner. Yes, very thin indeed. Dad Man Walking 55 should have made Cocaine Angels. Yeah, look, Elizabeth Banks did a fine job of directing the film. It really. There are moments in it. There are moments that you're going to be like, was that really inappropriate to laugh out loud at that? That's how good the film is. I mean, it's not a good film. I mean, it's fun film. It's a fun film. I'm going to keep saying it that way. I'm not going to get in trouble with you guys. Okay. Some of you are going to like this. Some of you are going to love it. And some of you be like, why did you say that was something to see? It's very good. Cocaine Banks. Ooh, that would be a good movie. Yeah, I heard this. I heard that Elizabeth Banks was already complaining about female directors getting no respect. Maybe it's just her. Well, it's funny because we mentioned it on the Midnight's Edge in the Morning. I think one of my favorite directors, 80s and 90s, was Penny Marshall. Oh, what does that say? One of the best script doctors of all time was Carrie Fisher. JF brings up an interesting thought. With the movies announced up until 2026, which is true, Disney seems to have committed at least another $3 billion on the MCU. Of course, they'll buy all the tickets it makes to make it appear a success. It's been done. Films have definitely had a marketing budget that allows for the purchase and giveaways of tickets. It's happened. Hey, Katina's here. Hi, Katina. Culture Sasquatch. The Marvel sounds like a 60s Motown group, doesn't it? Wasn't it? It might have been. It might actually been a group. I don't know. Rebecca Gold, what is going on, my man? I hope you're doing well. Check out Rebecca Gold channel here on YouTube. Keep working on what you're doing, brother. I love the fact that you go out and make content. This is made content. Good web series. Rebecca Gold for £5 sterling. This is proper money, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Culture, here's some money to get a haircut. No. Although I will be donating my hair in about 7 or 8 months. I think it'll be long enough to donate. Keep trucking, my friend. Will you keep trucking, buddy? Love you. Need to get your own rumor site like Geekosity. Love this. I'm not going to do that. There are enough people doing that, and there are enough people doing a good job at it. I don't need to do that. Am I only 15 minutes, 30 minutes behind in chat? Goodness. Is that all? I like talking to you guys. Something wrong with me. Peter Vakeman. Fan sites in the house. Great to see you, my friend. Yeah, people don't like her, says Biggles. It's her. That's true. Oh, man, I love you people. You're my people, my friends. Ham Tax Shark says, Ida Lupino was great and successful. Director 60 years ago. There you go. It's really weird narrative, right? That's the thing I didn't get to talk about. So there was like six different previews that I was subjected to last night before Cocaine Bear. One of them was the Dial of Destiny. It's the same one we saw for the Super Bowl. Every time I see that, I'm like, there's something very wrong with this. I don't know. It's very strange. Logic Finance says, I don't even know who the so-called hardcore Marvel fans are anymore. Well, it used to be me. It's not me anymore. Endgame ended it for me. I mean, to be fair, everything that came afterwards was so inferior that it's mockable. In fact, that's kind of what Disney specializes in now. Mockable entertainment. Whether they do that willfully or not, I don't know. I don't know. Comics fans, film fans. I don't know that you have many comics fans left. Gen X fans or Gen Z fans. Why differences there? Just an observation. Yeah. Again, I went to see Cocaine Bear with an older male family member. And we enjoyed Cocaine Bear. It was a lot of fun, lots of laughs. Wasn't a perfect movie. Lots of, things that definitely were pointed out by both of us. But fun film. Disney doesn't make that anymore. They don't. The Marvel humor is not good. The Joss Whedon humor, I guess, is what a lot of people refer to it as. It's not good. It doesn't fit. Trying to dampen, real powerful moments with humor has kind of been the destruction of a lot of the dialogue that's been in a lot of these recent films and television programs. No wonder they're pushing their television slate backwards, pausing it, whatever. Is Lucasfilm actually ever going to release The Acolyte? Conversation for down the road. A lot of weird stuff going on in the world. I do want to do my own website. It'll be a lot like I'm gonna write articles that I'll do videos on, very similar to what our friends over at Bounding into Comics do. I always thought I'd like to write for somebody, but it just kind of plays into it if I can just keep round robining my own material. Now I get to start talking about the things I love. Could be worse. Harrison Ford once said, "Get off my plane." I can't do it like Tom. Tom has he does it better. I can't do it. I can't do it. But you're right. Harrison Ford was awesome. Now it's giving me a blunt get on my plane. That's right. He would be great in a cocaine spin-off film, right? Harrison Ford. That's an interesting question. What happened to Catherine Bigelow? I don't really know. That's a great question. I'll look that up. That's a good one. It bothers me that there's that perception that women don't do a lot of directing. They absolutely do. Maybe Human says, Joss Whedon humor has its place. It's just being misused in Marvel. Yeah, I think that's true. And I think some of this plays into it too, from the Union of Amateur Strategists. Trying to make the message funny is not funny. Yeah, it's not funny. In fact, that's kind of what's killing all of the stories and everything, right? The message kills the stories. Like dead. Not good. What is that glass of wine, bro? Yeah, no, what it is a reminder that, February is pretty much a dry month for me. I try to abstain from booze. And no, it's the brand for Friday. Friday's the beginning of the weekend, and I've always had well, if you look at the thumbnails, there's a plane and a glass of wine, a couple beers, I think, on the thumbnail, and there always has been. I don't know. I like to sit in an airplane lounge and have a glass of wine before a flight and just talk. That's kind of what the show is. It's a conversation. Talk about what we're going to talk about over the weekend, or what people may talk about over the weekend. Yeah. Cocaine Bear 1923. There you go. A Harrison Ford joke for you. Let's see. Yeah, I would love to see Harrison Ford and Snoop Dogg team up for a Cheech and Chong kind of film. That's perfect. 16-bit mascot. I love that. Good times. It's the Chateau Picard. Thank you, Grimstorm. There you go. Miss Marvel will be the highlight and most likable character in this movie. The show was okay. She is the only charismatic character. Yeah, I think you're right. For that film, yeah, I think Miss Marvel will be the only one. Monica Rambeau is a weird derivative, and Captain Marvel's going to be odd, let's say. Aluvrian Imakara, a member for 25 months, comes in the door and throws out a member chat saying, "Still not dead. Did you get my Trek numbers?" I did. And I actually want to do a dive into that stuff. You are a wonderful human to track all that stuff. I'm very worried about Trek, though. Been worried about Trek for a long time. I kind of wish they could have contracted Ray Liotta to remake in a remake of Weekend at Bernie's. That would have been fun, right? It's a shame Cocaine Bear was his last movie. I think I said that before. I definitely said it in the car last night on the way back to the house. It's a shame that Cocaine Bear was his last film, but he still played a good bad guy. Man, he's great, man. Lufrian, you should be worried. Oh, yeah, indeed. All right, folks, we're going to wrap this show up for the day. I had a lot of fun with all of you here. I didn't get to all the news. I mean, I wanted to talk a little bit about the video game and how successful it's been. I've absolutely loved the fact that the video game made everybody look bad. They sold 12 million units of the Harry Potter game, Hogwarts Legacy. I know I keep saying Harry Potter game, but they sold 12 million copies in 2 weeks. It's the most played game right now across the platforms in real time. It's insane, and congratulations to them. $800 million, man, bonkers. There is some news happening. I will probably put a video together for Monday on. Looks like Vice Media is having their shakeup now, and as predicted, this is going to happen with all these new media companies, digital media companies. The CEO is basically left there under curious reporting. We'll see. We'll see what I'll put a video together. I'll try and get it out for Monday. It's very interesting though. New media is changing. On that note, yeah, I hope you guys get a chance to check out the Sunday show, the late night culture show, which we will be having this weekend. Tomorrow, check out if you're not already subscribed to the gaming channel. We will be playing Hogwarts Legacy on the gaming channel. Hopefully, I'll have it updated before I try to play because last weekend's stream was didn't happen. It was funny. It's me going, oh, they want me to update for an hour. All right. Interesting game though. Oh, and I normally I'd send you to Loki's show late tonight, but go check out Matt Fowler's show tonight. I don't think Loki's doing his show tonight. There may be some cotton though. There may be some puppets going live. We'll see. We'll see. I know they'll go live tomorrow for sure. And we will be having a member chat. Thank you for that, Olaf Funes. We will be having a member chat, a stream this weekend as well. It may be tomorrow or Sunday. I need to figure out what time I have to invest into some construction I'm doing for the DIY channel, and to go from there. So hopefully we can get together for an hour or hour and a half for a nice member stream this weekend. Anyway, Got to get out of here. Be sure to take care of yourself, of course. Take care of others. Wash your hands because it's good hygiene. You should always do this. Always. Always. You touch so many things with your hands. Oh, wait. Can I play this clip? I don't think. Maybe. Should I play this clip? Yeah, I shouldn't play that clip. I'm getting in trouble. Probably. Anyway, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because get your hygiene. And until next time, bye.
Press our button, be seated. This time, we're landing in about 1 minute.